Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name's Mario, and I put out videos on clinical research, personal finance, and travel. And in the video today, I'm going to talk about why people leave the clinical research associate role. And the reason for this video is I know many people are dying to become clinical research associates, but to give you some insight on why people actually decide to leave this role. Before I jump into that topic, I do want to take a moment and say a big thank you to all of you that have subscribed. This channel is now at over 100 subscribers, and hopefully I will continue to be able to grow it and continue to produce useful content. And on that note, if there is something you want me to cover, please do list it down in the comments. All right, without further ado, the topic for today's video, some of the reasons that people leave the clinical research associate or CRA role. So I'm going to start on the positive note, and that is a promotion. CRAs can go on to become clinical trial managers, CRA line managers, quality assurance auditors, and many other things. But those are some of the roles that people leave the clinical research associate role to take. And this can both be internally within the company you're at, they promote you to one of these roles, or you may be applying externally in the hope of being able to land one of these roles at another organization. More often than not, I've seen more of the latter, where people who are CRAs at one CRO, for example, will apply to CTM positions at other CROs and hope to make that jump by going to a different organization. Another reason people leave the clinical research associate role is because they were laid off or fired. So I've experienced being laid off twice in my career. The first time, the company I worked for, which was a small company, had a failed phase 2 clinical trial, and the entire company disbanded and everyone was let go. The second time was me being a contract CRA and the pandemic hitting, and the CRO that I worked for decided that they were not going to renew any contract CRAs. So I was essentially let go in that sweep. So that's one potential, being laid off. Another, which I haven't experienced, is being fired. There are a variety of reasons that you could be fired. I think the most common is probably quality of work. You're found to be lacking, but personnel conflicts or a whole host of other issues might be why someone is fired from the clinical research associate role. Another reason that I'll talk about is travel. A recurring theme of my videos is that CRAs travel a lot, oftentimes 75% plus. I put out a video about how every week I would depart on Monday afternoon, come back home really late on Thursday night, and I would do this week in and week out every week, almost all year. So people get burned out from travel. So many people leave the clinical research associate role because they say, hey, I love everything about this role, but I can't continue this sort of travel schedule. So you'll see a lot of people go on to things like clinical trial manager roles because they loved being a CRA, but they just didn't want that level of travel. Another reason people may leave the clinical research associate role is they just realize that they don't like the work. They don't like being a CRA. They don't like what goes into it. And I've seen this happen fairly often. People get into this role having their own preconceived notion of what it's like to be a CRA, and then deciding, hey, what I did before, I liked that more. One person that comes to mind was a pharmacist. She decided, hey, I don't really like being a pharmacist that much. Let me go and try being a clinical research associate. So she came over, was a CRA for about a year, and then realized she much preferred being a pharmacist. She preferred being home. She preferred having a somewhat regular schedule. And she enjoyed just not being on the road that much. So you'll get people like that want to try being a CRA and then just realizing that they don't like the nature of the job. So Those are some of the reasons that people would leave the clinical research associate role. I personally have stuck in the role because I really do enjoy it. I am now looking at what I want to do next, potentially grow into a role where I start managing CRAs and do a little more of CRA line management, but I'm still exploring that option personally, and really hope to continue to expand my skill set within oncology and within being an oncology CRA, which is what I've done for over 12 years, and really looking what can I add. So, for example, I have a lot of experience in oncology therapeutics. So, can I expand getting into the diagnostics world, for example? I have a lot of experience overseeing sites, but I don't have as much experience managing other CRAs. So those are the things that I'm giving some thought to as I look to build my career. But if you're someone watching this video that's interested in being a CRA, I will say it's a great role. It gives you a good oversight of what goes into a clinical trial, and there's a lot of potential for future development. All right, I will leave it at that. I want to say a big thank you to those of you that have stuck through to the end. And as always, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you want to see a certain topic covered in a future video. Thank you for watching.